I am so very glad to be here to spend some time with you. And one of the things I was reflecting on in preparing is that there's some things you can't see while you're going through it or see looking forward, but once you look back, things come together. And they said, I'm adopted, and said my birth mother was in a part of South Florida cutting sugar cane. Met this guy from the Bahamas, and he fixed her some boiled grouper and she got pregnant. Something in the gravy. Oh, yes, indeed. But I want to. Where's Sebastian? Where are you? Oh, right, yeah. Let's give him a round of applause for his vision. Thank you so much. I had an opportunity to talk to this young man. You're never too old to learn, and you're never too young to teach. He's very brilliant, and I appreciate his commitment, his passion for you and for the future of the Bahamas and what it is that he wants to do. And I want you to know that it's achievable. Let's give him another tremendous round of applause. Sophia White, who manages me, give her a round of applause. And Gladys Fernanda, she's my business partner here from the Bahamas. Give her a round of applause. Stand up, Gladys. She bought me some ball grouper and some pigeon peas and rice. I say, you hooking a brother up in here. And Denise Zama, my love, give her a round of applause. All right. And business partner. I'm excited about being here, and I want to share with you some thoughts. And I want you to think about some major goal that you'd like to achieve personally, and some major goal that you'd like to achieve professionally. And I'd like for you to think about some goal that you want to achieve in a social context, your contribution. Horace Mann said we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. And there's something that I want you to embrace right now. When you leave here, I want this to resonate in your mind and in your heart and in your spirit. And I want you to spread this, because words are powerful. My favorite book says, death and life is in the tongue. And that's a strategic message. Why? Why didn't it say life and death is in the tongue? Well, the reason is that most of us speak death more than we do life. And you have to be mindful of what you say, because your words have power. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and dwelt among men. Your words have power. And in this room, at this point in time in history, on this day, we have the power for historians to look back and see that this was a catalytic, transformative moment here in the islands. Repeat after me, please. This is. Everybody together. This is our winning season. Say it again. This is our winning season. It's our time to go to the next level. Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, let's play a bigger game. Do that right now. This is your winning season. Things have changed, and this is your winning season. Get to know that, get to be with that, and affirm that to yourself every day, because it's true. But you must affirm that and believe that. When I think about my life, born in Liberty City in Miami, an abandoned building on a floor with my twin brother. And I sat on this stage because of two women. One gave me life, the other one gave me love. God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. I feel like Abraham Lincoln, who said, all that I am and all that I ever hoped to be, I owe to my mother. Mama worked on Miami Beach for wealthy families. She cooked for these families, and we ate the food left over from the families that she cooked for. She kept their children, and we wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that she kept. I'm a mama's boy. I used to follow around these big, beautiful homes. My mother could bake, too. She was awesome in the kitchen. She could bake a sweet potato pie so good you couldn't eat it with your shoes on. Yeah, kick your shoes off so you could wiggle your toes. and being in these big, beautiful mansions, I used to say to her, Mama, what is it, Leslie? When I become a man, I'm gonna buy you a big, beautiful home just like this. Living in an overtown in Liberty City, we had hard linoleum floors. Millenniums don't know anything about that. And they had carpet. We had fans. They had air conditioners. And I admired my mother, her courage, her determination. I remember her getting up in the morning and saying, oh, Arthur's bothering me. I said, Mama, who's Arthur? She said, don't worry, boy, you live long enough, you'll find out. She was talking about arthritis. Mama, what is it, Leslie? Why do y'all say every Sunday, thank the Lord for waking me up in my right mind this morning? She said, don't worry. You live long enough, you'll find out. I went in the room the other day to find something. I got in there, and I couldn't remember what I was looking for. I came out the room, remember what I was looking for, went in there and I found it, then I couldn't remember why I was looking for it. My kid said, Daddy, you need some Ginkgo biloba, you know? I went down to Walgreens. I was walking around. A lady said, may I help you? I said, I forgot why I'm here. She said, you need something for your memory. So they gave me a few vitamins. I took them home. Now I can't remember where I put them. So when I got up this morning, I said, I thank the Lord for waking me up in my right mind this morning. But here's something that I know. As you look at yourself, I want you to think about some goal that you want to achieve personally. My first personal goal was to buy my mother a home. That was important to me. She adopted me and 6 other children. And I was determined that I want to do that. I was hungry to take care of her as she took care of us. What are you hungry for? Who is it in your life that you'd like to do something special for? And then I want you to think about your financial goal. I want you to come up with a financial number, and that once you earn that, that will alleviate a lot of stress. Once you earn that it'll give you the opportunity to make choices, to travel, to do things for people that you care about. And I want you to think about creating wealth. People say money won't make you happy, but everybody want to find out for themselves. Let me tell you something, fellas. Even if you're as homeless as I am, you got some money, women will find something cute on you. Oh, he's got eyelashes like Denzel Washington, honey. He's got eyes like Terrence Howard. I used to be so broke, I walked past the bank and tripped the alarm. Creditors called the house, and this is before caller ID. And my children would answer the phone and just lie. My daddy said he ain't home. Oh, poverty sucks. Let me tell you something. I feel better when I have some money. I don't even have to take my medication as often. You know. The Red Fox said, money can't buy you happiness, but can make a hell of a down payment. Oh, behave. Whatever. I'm sorry. I got issues, okay? But I want you to think about your financial freedom number. So that if something happened, how many of you have children? Raise your hands, please. If something happened to someone you care about, you want to be in a position to do more than just pray for them. My oldest son had a stroke a year and a half ago. And the healthcare practitioners, it cost around $3,000 a week, and it was not covered by insurance. And I was glad that I was able to be in a position to take care of it. You have the ability to create wealth. Now I want you to think about your social contribution. That's what I admire about you. You've decided that you want to give something back to this great island of great people here. That's a great example in a bar that you're setting for others to emulate. Horace Mann said we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. John, one great man, James Johnson, stony the road we trod, bitter the testing rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet, with a steady beat, have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We've come over a way that with tears have been watered. We've come treading a path through the blood of the slaughtered. Somebody paid a price for us to enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy. Somebody paid a price for that. And so we have a debt to pay. I want you to think about your goals and dreams, your personal goals, your financial goals, your social contribution to this great island. And let us say together, it's possible. Say it again with conviction, it's possible. It's possible. Yeah, it's possible, the things that you envision. We're going through a critical time in history, the era of what the late Peter Drucker called the era of the 3 C's, accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. Just in the United States alone, over 20,000 jobs are being replaced by technology. It's being impacted here in the Bahamas as well. And as you think about your goals and dreams, it's not about being intimidated by technology. It's about what is it you need to do to reinvent yourself. What is it you need to do as you look and see that millions of jobs are being eliminated globally? My sister was working for a major bank in the United States, and they came to my sister Sharon and said, your division has been eliminated. And we've flown in the people from the country where your job has been outsourced to. And you must train them if you're going to get your severance pay. We will test them. And if they don't pass the test, you won't get your severance pay. That's wrong. That's like getting out of a marriage that you don't like, and the person that you're with, they found somebody else and you got to train them. Something's wrong with that. Can you feel a brother up in here? I mean, that's not right. And so it's called life. Forrest Gump was right. That life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. My favorite book says, think it not strange that you'll face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might, you will have tribulations. Things are going to happen to you. 21 years ago, a doctor looked at me and said, look, cancer is metastasized to 7 areas of your body. Your chances of surviving beyond 6 to 8 months are slim to none. I said, I'll take slim. You know? He said, I have cancer? He said, yes. I said, can you give me a second opinion? He said, yes, and you're ugly too. Oh, behave, whatever. Things happen in life. And don't ask, why did this have to happen to you? You know, why not you? Who would you suggest? Although I could give God some emails and some addresses and some names. But stuff happens in life. And as you think about your goals and dreams, what's most important, I want you to write this down, your mindset. Yes, you got to work on your mindset. Because things are going to happen that you cannot anticipate. This is a new place in history. This is a new economy. And things are changing rapidly. And you have to be resilient. You have to position yourself in 4 areas: faith, family, finance, and fun. You want to integrate all of that together. And your faith is very important because you're going to have some setbacks. You're going to have some failures. People you thought you can count on, they won't be there. There are people who should be in this room, they're not here because they have an entertainment-driven awareness. In order to make it in this new economy, you have to have an achievement-driven mindset. You have to think in terms of creating your own personal economy, of developing yourself, your mindset, and your skill set. You don't get paid by the hour. What skills, what knowledge? Write this down. Knowledge is the new currency. What knowledge do you have? What value, what skills are you going to provide? What service are you going to make available in the marketplace? It's a new day. It's a book out now called The End of Work. Been around for around 6 years, 500 pages. Most people have not read it. It's talking about how technology is eliminating millions of jobs every day. And so now, it's a crisis, and crisis in the Chinese language, it means danger and it means opportunity. And you have an opportunity here. Living here, you have an advantage from countries that are larger than you are. You have an advantage. Come on, Les, what are you talking about? Shake someone's hand on your right and left, look them in the eyes and say, Goliath lost. Goliath lost. Because you're so small, just over 250,000 people, you have a chance to change the collective mindset, to create a mindset of entrepreneurship, a mindset where people begin to see the value of engaging and learning the things they need to learn so that you can begin to be a go-to resource place, not where people just come to have a vacation, but because of the skills you have, because of the knowledge that you have, because of the value that you provide, because of the service that you provide. Not just to come here and eat and dance and drink and go back home, but come and see this as a destination spot. Because how you have educated and created a new culture beyond entertainment, a new culture of collaborative, achievement-driven, supported relationships. You have the ability to do that, unlike a Chicago or Miami or New York. Why? Too many people. You are contained. You have a limited number of people. You control, you have access to media. And so you have the ability to influence the thinking and the attitudes and the behavior and the knowledge of people here in a controlled environment. That's rare. It's very rare. I finished speaking this morning in Detroit, Michigan. It used to be a city that billions of dollars earned in the music industry, and then in the automobile industry, and then automation came in. And then information and technology, and everything changed. Quincy Jones had a song years ago, everything must change. Nothing stays the same. This is your winning season. As you begin to share the vision of a new Bahamas, the vision of people coming together, families, using technology. Just imagine 2007 Time magazine said, the computer is the person of the year. Why? Because for the first time in the history of the world, everyday people have access to information they've never had before. In the United States, if you were an African American, a person of color trying to learn how to read, it would be a capital offense. Now, you can learn anything online, any area. People are getting law degrees, medical degrees, CPAs, all type of degrees online. More millionaires are being created online than ever before. Now with just your telephone, you can become a global entrepreneur. I know a young lady by the name of Sonia Ricchetti. She earns over $9 million a year at home. She doesn't want to go speaking all over the world. She's been taking care of her mother, doing it from the comfort of her home. There's a young lady that I was telling our friend about, that Alicia Little. She teaches people, and she's doing it in Jamaica now, how to earn money the first day in the training online. Serving customers globally, that you never touched the products. You don't even have to have a warehouse. And how using strategic relationships, you can create your own business so that you are now in charge of your own life. This requires a new mindset. That's why we're taught, be ye not conformed to this world. Don't follow everybody else's pattern. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Dr. Carter G. Woodson said, if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. I was watching the young men here on the island, and I was impressed with when I looked at so many of them at the airport when I came in, because there's a virus going on in the United States that is not as prevalent here as it is there, although many things that we do over there, you bring here. That's not in your best interest. In the United States, they have programming that does not serve people. You can't tell me that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X died so we can have Atlanta housewives. If you go online, look at YouTube and see the vulgarity and the filth and the violence and the ignorance, there's something wrong with that. In order to make it and believe that this is your winning season, you have to hold yourself to a higher standard. You have the opportunity to create a culture here, even more so where people look forward to come here because of the love, because of the warmth. And that's just who you are as Bahamians. A place where people can feel safe and enjoy their family and come and learn and grow and expand mentally and emotionally and spiritually. You have a chance to create and make this the Wakanda. Come on, somebody. Can you feel it, brother? Up in here, up in here. Let us say together, it's possible. We can create a more attractive island of knowledgeable people, entrepreneurs, innovation, creativeness, a place where people look forward to coming, to retreat, to replenish themselves, to reinvent themselves, and go out and make global impact. Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, we can do that. This is time that you have to be uncommon. Not only is it possible, but to hold yourself to a different kind of standard. Henry David Thoreau said, do not go where the path may lead, go where there's no path and leave a trail. You don't want to be like everybody else. You want to be uncommon. One guy wrote, he said, I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. He said, I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the still calm of utopia. I will never cower before any master nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, and face the world boldly and say, this I have done. You've showed up here this evening, and the vision that this island now has for itself in the future, because you are uncommon. Give yourselves a round of applause. Bring your energy level up. Bring your energy level up. So let us say together, it's possible. It's possible. I can have my dream. It's necessary. Say it again, it's necessary. See, if you're casual about your dream, you'll end up a casualty. You've got to decide that it's necessary. I told my mother, Mama, I'm going to buy you a home one day. That was not something nice to say. I was serious. I'll never forget, I was driving her at North Miami Beach area, and she saw this big, beautiful home. I drove in that area deliberately. It's on an acre of land and beautiful water fountain in front. And she said, slow down, Leslie. I said, what is it, Mama? She said, look at that big, beautiful home. She said, if I lived in something like that, I'll feel like Mrs. Rockefeller. And she's talking about this wealthy wife of John D. Rockefeller. She read about it in the Miami Herald. I said, you really like that, Mama? She said, yes. And I knew that she would, and I decided that I was going to do it. I want you to think about some goal that you have. And I wanted to be a big goal. That was a big goal. I didn't have the money. I didn't have a contract. I had no idea how I was going to do it. And I'm encouraging you, get a big goal beyond your comfort zone. And don't worry about how you're going to do it. My favorite book says, lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. There's some things you can do that you don't know right now, because we've been trained and programmed to be practical and logical and realistic. No. And as a result of that practical, logical, realistic thinking and being conditioned not to want to make mistakes or fail, we stop ourselves. 86% of people allow their fear of failure to have big dreams. Repeat after me, please. Risk winning. Yes, I didn't do what I'm doing now because I didn't want to risk losing or being embarrassed. I used to go see Zig Ziglar and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Robert Schuller and Tony Robbins, and my heart said, I can do that. But my mind, being practical and logical and realistic, Les Brown, how can you do that? You don't have a college education. Les Brown, how can you do that? You never worked for a major corporation. Les Brown, how can you, with no money and no resources and no contacts and corporations, develop the level of credibility that somebody's going to pay you to come and talk to them? What do you have to say? How many ever thought about something you wanted to do and you talk yourself out of it? Raise your hands, please. You know what I'm talking about. I never forget, something happened to me. Let us say together, interruption. And that's what I'm doing with you right now. I'm interrupting your thinking. I went in this man's class, Mr. Leroy Washington. He said, young man, go to the board and work this problem out for me. I said, oh, sir, I can't do that. Why not? I'm not one of your students. I'm just here to see a friend of mine back off of Stevens. He said, go to the board and work the problem out anyhow. I said, I can't, sir. And the other students started laughing, saying, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley's smart. He's DT. He said, what's DT? He's a dumb twin. And the students erupted in laughter, just as some of you did. And I said, I am, sir. And he came from behind his desk and he looked at me. He said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. That was a turning point in my life. That was an interruption. On the one hand, I was humiliated. But on the other hand, I was liberated because he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe, who said, look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be. Then he becomes what he should be. See, when I was in the 5th grade, I was labeled educable mentally retarded and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade. And I fell again when I was in the 8th grade. But I met him my junior year, and I discovered something. How we live our lives is a result of the story we believe about ourselves. And when you live in an environment where you have systems of racism and discrimination, or you've been colonized and it's passed on a mindset generation after generation after generation, and that mindset is not interrupted. See, fleas have the physical capacity to jump 20 inches high, but if you put fleas in a jar and put a top on it and watch them, they'll jump up and down, and if you listen, they'll hit their heads. And after a while, they'll jump up and down, and they won't hit their heads. And then if you take the top off, they'll jump up and down, and they won't jump out because they've been conditioned. But here's the tragic part, and why it's important why you have your daughter here, and why I have my daughter here, which I'm going to be calling up very shortly, is that when they have baby fleas, the baby fleas born with the physical capacity to jump 20 inches high will jump just below 20 inches. Why? Because of the environment. An extensive book written by Martin Seligman from the University of Minnesota said between the ages of 0 and 5, a word is formulated in your heart. It's yes or it's no, based upon the conversations you hear, based upon your environment, based upon the people that you look at, the people who talk to you, the people who communicate with you. You formulate a vision about yourself that follows you for the rest of your life. And so what is required and what you're doing is an interruption. Distract, dispute, and inspire. He distracted me from what I believed about myself. While in school, up to my junior year, I saw myself as being educable mentally retarded. DT, the dumb twin. At first, they called me that. I got angry. After a while, it became no big deal, and I started answering to it. And my grades reflected that. I know something about you, and I don't know you, that you have greatness in you. You were born with greatness. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. You are more than a conqueror. You're born with greatness, but you've been programmed to fail. That's why this work, this time that we're gathering here is important. And that you decide when you leave here to become a messenger of hope. Because when there's hope in the future, it gives you power in the present. Every 20 seconds, somebody commits suicide. Why? Because they feel hopeless and helpless. And you have an energy signature. There's some people I'm going to reach. There's some people that you're going to reach. They're part of who you are, the frequency behind your voice. And so as you think about your goals and dreams, decide that it's necessary. Next thing is, I'm encouraging you to get a 3x5 card as you think about your goals. On one side, put down one goal, the one that's most important to you. On the flip side, put Matthew 7:7, ask and it shall be given. Seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. And read that 3 times a day. I did that. I walked around Liberty City in Overtown with that 3x5 card. I said, I'm the world's greatest orator. I had no idea that in 1992, when Toastmasters selected the top 5 speakers in the world, General Norman Schwarzkopf, Robert Schuller, Paul Harvey, and Lee Iacocca, that I would be among them. I had no idea that the National Speakers Association selected me the top speaker in the world. There are things that you're going to do as a result of becoming a part of this movement that eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor is it in the heart of mankind what God has in store for you. And the fact that you can't see it does not matter. You don't have to see it. And the fact that you don't know how to do it, that's none of your business. That's God's business. What's most important, commit yourself. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Commit yourself to do the work. And as you focus on your goals and dreams, and you write your goals down and you review them on a regular basis, what you're literally doing is programming yourself, reversing the mental disrepair, dismantling the current belief system that you now have to create a new reality for yourself. Next thing that's very important, look at your relationships. Write this down, OQP, only quality people. In order to be successful, you want to surround yourself with people that you can learn from, people you can grow from. There's some people you need to let go of. Repeat after me, please. Let go. Or be dragged. Yeah, there's some people you need to let go of. They're going to drag you down, including family. There are two types of relationships. There are nourishing relationships and toxic relationships. Nourishing relationships, they bring the best out of you. They challenge you. They really grow on you in a positive way. Toxic relationships, they drain you. They'll bring the worst out of you. Les, can I change them? No. It's a full-time job changing yourself. Some people are so negative they can walk into a dark room and begin to develop. Oh, behave. Millenniums, they don't know about that. They don't know about that. Come up here, Honor. This is my daughter, Honor. Give her a round of applause. Come on, baby. She's going to share some thoughts with you. She said, yes, you're too old to come this way. Come on, go around. She said, they have some steps. Come on, baby. You got to give my daughter a better round of applause than that. Come on.
Thank you, Daddy. How are you doing this evening? One of the things that I've learned working with my father nationally and internationally for over 23 years is the importance of challenging yourself. Let me hear you say, I'm going to challenge myself. I was afraid of speaking. I saw myself as an introvert. I saw myself as someone who was shy and would never be able to take the stage. And then all of a sudden, we had a challenging time as a family. We were in the eye of the storm. Has anyone ever been in the eye of the storm? My father was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and he was given 3 to 5 years to live. And during that time, there was a lot of crying. There was a lot of pain he was dealing with. And so I gave him the master bedroom of my place, and we were juicing organic fruits and vegetables to feed life to the cells. And we were praying every day, and we were meditating every day. And I would play some of his positive messages, and some of the positive messages of Bishop T.D. Jakes and Dr. Miles Monroe. I call him Uncle Miles. I love Uncle Miles. And so we were going through this challenge, and during this time, while my father was in the process of healing, he said, Ona, I need you to come into the room. I need to confide in you about something. I said, Dad, you can talk to me about anything. What is it? He said, well, I've been eavesdropping on your phone calls. I said, is that right? He said, yes. And I said, and why would you do that? He said, because I was bored and I didn't have nothing else to do. He said, but as a result of me being nosy, I made an amazing discovery, Ona. You are a powerful speaker and a powerful coach. You're just using the telephone as your microphone. I said, what you talking about, Willis? He said, no, 98.9% of the people that call here, this is what you do. You uplift them, you encourage them, you give them methods and techniques to take their lives to the next level. You love to help people. How many of you love to help people? Yes. And so I knew that that was something I loved to do, but I saw myself in a limited perception. I saw myself in a box. And what my father was doing was trying to stretch me outside of the box. And I started resisting it. How many have ever had someone see something in you that didn't fit into the box of how you saw yourself, so you rejected it? Yes? And so finally, I kept saying, no, that's not what I do. I know who I am. I'm your number one salesperson in the back of the room. I'm the person who does the research on the corporations and gives you an outline so you can give a powerful presentation and get a standing ovation. I negotiated your first highest paid international contract. I know who I am, but I cannot speak. That's not me. He said, yes, you can. I said, no, I can't. He said, yes, you can. I said, no, I can't. And finally, he used wisdom. Let me hear you say wisdom. That was weak. Let me hear you say wisdom. He said, you know what? Maybe you're not a speaker. Maybe you're not a coach, but you sure tell a great story. I said, I do tell a pretty good story now. He said, well, would you be willing to just come on stage and tell a story? You ain't got to speak or nothing. I said, okay, I'll come on stage and tell a story, but I'm not speaking. Duh. I still can't believe he tricked me with that. So I got on stage and I told the story, and I felt a connection between myself and the audience. I saw people having these aha moments, and people came up to me afterwards and said, thank you. You spoke into my life. Thank you. That was for me. Thank you. I needed that. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I remember I would just go up on stage in the beginning stages of my speaking, and I would just tell a story. And I'd just do like 10 or 15 minutes. And one time I went up and I told a story, and then I threw in a quote, and I backed it up with a statistic, and then threw in a scripture, and I was going for a good 45 minutes strong. And Dad came up and said, excuse me, can I get the mic? I said, back up, brother, I'm on a roll. Repeat after me, this is my time. I'm ready. I'm willing to stretch myself, to do things that make me uncomfortable, to challenge the old me, to let go of who I am for who I can become, starting now. And this is one of the things that I'm so proud of my father, because he's not just a father, he's a friend. And he has really showed my family the power of a made-up mind and someone who is willing to come outside of their comfort zone, which is what Dr. Brian Tracy calls the danger zone. So if you're too comfortable, it's not going to work. Turn to the person on your right and left, say, it's okay to be uncomfortable. So as we look at ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, it's about raising the bar on ourselves and doing things that make us shake on the inside. And that's what my father has been able to do. I remember one time I said, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being this person that stands before you, and I'm ashamed that I don't know how to swim. I know that sounds crazy to you, especially being here. I'm a grown woman who doesn't know how to swim. I'm being honest. I know that's crazy. So I decided that I was going to do something to change this, because I was tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired. Has anyone ever been there before? I've seen 3- and 4-year-olds swim, so I decided I was going to do this thing. And I got in my bathtub and I started practicing the things that I saw people do. And so then I went out into the pool and I decided I was gonna do the swimming thing. And so I'm making my motions, and all of a sudden I lost my footing. And in the midst of me losing my footing, I panicked. So I'm yelling and screaming for help. And I notice no one's coming to save me. I think this is a conspiracy. These people want to see me die. And all of a sudden I heard someone say, "Stand up!" Here I am, 5'9" and a half, drowning in 3 feet of water. So this is what happens sometimes in life as entrepreneurs, as people that are visionaries, as people that are coming out of our comfort zones, you might lose your footing when you leave this powerful session. And you might somehow start to panic and get overwhelmed by the waves of bills, the waves of negative inner conversation, the waves of fear, the waves of doubt, the waves of toxic, draining relationships. But all you have to remember to do is to stand up. Stand up for your dream. Stand up for your goal. Stand up for own. Why are you still sitting down? Stand up for your community. Stand up for your family. Stand up for what you believe in. Stand up for your vision. And as I close, I want to tell you this before you take your seat. You may have to drink half the pool on the way up. But turn to the person on your right and left and say, the chlorine is sweet, baby.
Ona Brown. Give my daughter a round of applause. We have a program where we train and teach you how to do basically the things of what it takes to become a global entrepreneur. One is your mindset. I want you to go on YouTube, and I want you for the next 90 days to watch Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. Speech is called It's Not Over Till You Win. I'm speaking to over 80,000 people. When I did that speech, I was sleeping in my office in Detroit, Michigan, in the Penobscot building on the 21st floor, bathing in the sink down the hall, going through some tough times. Robert Schuller's right, tough times never last, but tough people do. Next thing is, have a goal that will challenge you, a goal that's outside of your comfort zone. Why? Because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. And it challenges you. I encourage you to buy the book. Go on Amazon, buy the book called The Road to Your Best Stuff. The Road to Your Best Stuff. It's by Mike Williams. He's been my mentor for 49 years. The reason that most people fail is two M's that's important. One is called mistakes, the other one is called a mentor. Most people try and do it by themselves. They make a lot of costly mistakes, and they stop, and they become frustrated and discouraged, and they give up. But the smart ones, they get a mentor. I got a mentor. Why? Because you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. Muhammad Ali said, I'm the greatest, but he never won a boxing championship without Angelo Dundee in his corner. And so you need someone to be your mentor, someone to be your coach, someone to give you guidance, someone who's accomplished and who has achieved what it is you want to achieve, someone that you respect and trust, that you'd be willing to listen to. And for those of you that would like to be coached and want to become an entrepreneur, I have some things that I will send you that will be very helpful to you and give it to you as a gift for being here tonight. Just email me at lesbrown77@gmail.com and do it within 24 hours so that I can distinguish it from all of the other emails and send these videos out to you and some other strategies and information that will help you to develop the entrepreneur in yourself. That's lesbrown77@gmail.com. 7 is my lucky number. I'm one of 7 children. I was born February the 17th. Joshua marched around the walls of Jericho 7 times. Naaman dipped himself in the river Jordan 7 times. That tell you 7 is my lucky number. So make sure you do that right away. And we're going to send you some videos and information that'll help you to get started. The next thing is you look at your goals and dreams. Let us say together, it's me. Yeah, see, the people who are going to live their dreams rather than their fears, they take total responsibility. George Bernard Shaw said that people that make it in this life, they look around for the circumstances that they want, and if they can't find them, they create them. And so decide to take personal responsibility for your life. Here's the next thing. Write this down. It's hard. Everybody together, it's hard. How many of you know it's hard? Raise your hands, please. I didn't do what I'm doing now because I thought it would be hard. It'd be hard for me to compete with people with PhDs and MBAs and credentials that I don't have. It'd be hard for me to break into the corporate setting and be able to train for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, General Electric, IBM, clients that I have now. I thought it would be hard, and it was hard. And my mentor said, Brownie, he said, if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. It's going to be hard for you to reinvent yourself, to going from having a job to becoming an entrepreneur, going from working from 9 to 5 to work from 5 until you faint. That's what's required. It's hard. But I can tell you, it's worth it. And I want, when you leave here tonight, I want you to think about what will make it worth it for you. What will make it worth it for you? It was worth everything I needed to do to buy my mother a home. I'll never forget when I drove her back in that area of North Miami Beach. And she said, slow down, Leslie. Boy, look at that big, beautiful home. I said, Mama, you really like that? She said, yes. I said, Mama, I know the people there. She said, you do? I said, yes. I said, would you like to see it? I'm sure they wouldn't mind. She said, sure. And so we drove up to the house. Mama was 78 at the time. I went around and I opened the door. She held me by the arm. We started walking toward the house, and she stopped and said, Leslie? I said, yes, ma'am. Boy, you sure you know these people? I said, yes, ma'am, Mama, I do. We got to the door, and I couldn't hold back any longer. I put the key in the door, and I opened it. I said, Mrs. Rockefeller, this is your home. She said, what are you talking about, Leslie? I said, Mama, I bought this for you. It's fully furnished, and it's all paid for. She said, Leslie, you didn't have to do this. I said, I know. And you didn't have to adopt us either, but you did. She stuck her head in the door and said, is anybody home? I said, Mama, is nobody here but us? And she came in and she walked around and she looked and she touched the furniture and she said, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. No one could have ever told me something like this would happen to me. And she looked at me and she said, and you were such a crazy child. I said, I know, but I got money now. I'll never forget that day. It was a special moment. Mom was an incredible woman. She was a 22-year breast cancer conqueror. God blessed us with her at the age of 89. Let us sit together. It's possible. I could have my dream. It's necessary. I'm committed to reinvent myself, to increase my skills, my value, to make a greater impact. It's me. I'm taking ownership of my life. It's hard. I can do hard. It's worth it. Yes, when you leave tonight, I want you to write down 5 reasons and why you are not going to give up on your dream. 5 reasons and why you will honor your commitment to become an entrepreneur, to educate yourself, to develop yourself for this global economy. 5 reasons. Why? Because Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. But when the tough times come, and they're going to come, you're going to fail your way to success. You're going to have disappointments and setbacks and frustrations. And your reasons will be your rod and staff to comfort you, to maintain your commitment to your commitment. Somebody said, can we really do this? Can we transform our lives? Yes. Can we reduce the recidivism rate in our prisons and the dropout rate and transform the mindset of our children and eliminate HIV, hood-infected virus, AIDS, addiction to incarceration and death syndrome? Can we do this? in our lifetime and create a brand new economy for the island? Can we do this? I remember in 1961, President John F. Kennedy called his cabinet together. And he wanted to challenge them. He said, what will it take for us to beat the Russians to the moon? I remember as a kid, to illustrate that something was impossible, you would say, you have as much chance of doing that as a man going to the moon. And he looked to Wernher von Braun, most brilliant scientist of that day, to his right. And he said, Wernher, what will it take for us to go to the moon? And he said 5 things, 5 words, 5 words. And everybody waited in anticipation that he would say something else. And he didn't. He just dropped his pen. And the president looked around the room, and a few days later he called a news conference and announced to the world and risked global embarrassment. He said, we're going to the moon in 10 years. 10 years. Did it in 8. Didn't have technology, computers did not exist, didn't have a budget, didn't have the know-how, didn't have a clue. So as you look at yourself, look at, this is your winning season. This is a historic place where you are right now. And as you look into the future, question becomes, what will it take for you to begin to reinvent yourselves individually and collectively and as a great country? 5 words that you should put up in your house on your mirror so you can see it every day. When he looked at Wernher, Wernher said, when the question was asked, what will it take for us to do it, Wernher? He said, the will to do it. The will to do it. What will it take for you to step out of just thinking in terms of a mindset of being an employee and step into your greatness and see yourself as an entrepreneur and one who provides jobs and create jobs? The will to do it. What will it take for you to start thinking in terms of being creative and being an innovator and coming up with inventions and ideas that will transform your life and position you to create generational wealth? The will to do it. What will it take for you to begin to reinvent your school system so that it becomes a resource so that you are able to compete globally with countries around the world? And everybody will know you and be attracted to this island because of the pool of genius and brain power that's here. The will to do it. I'm going to ask a question and I want you to say with conviction the will to do it. What will it take for you to come up with ideas that will transform your life and your family's life and be able to create incredible wealth? What will it take for you to begin to come up with some type of innovative place here on this island that people around the world will talk about who you are, what it is you do, how you've reinvented yourselves, and why this is the most attractive place on the planet to come? What will it take for you to create new jobs, new industries, new economies with your genius, with your ideas, with your thoughts, and with your dreams? Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, I have the will. My favorite book says, whosoever will, let him come. So I'd like to leave this with you. I don't know what your goals are beyond why we've gathered here. But here's what I know. You have greatness in you. And when you're pursuing your greatness, you don't know what your limits are. So you act like you don't have any. Here's what I know. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. Here's what I know. You're made in the likeness and image of God. And you've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. God asked Adam, Adam, where are you? Not because he didn't know, but because he wanted Adam to think, Adam, where are you? NASA, where are you in a global context? And I realized that life is a question, and how we live our lives is the answer. And so as you think about your goals and dreams, let us say together, you gotta be hungry. Mr. Washington said, Mr. Brown, what do you want to do with your life, young man? I said, I want to make my mother proud. I want to live a life of meaning, sir. I want to touch people's lives like you touched my life, sir. They call you the great communicator. I want to speak like you. I got to speak. I want to help people like you helped me. I've never known my father or my mother, and you spoke to me. You didn't treat me like everybody else treat me, and you made me feel better about myself. I want to be like you. He said, you got to be hungry, young man. What is it you really enjoy doing? I listen to the radio a lot. I like to be a disc jockey. He said, oh, good. Here are my car keys. What's this for? There's a guy named Paul Harvey. He's the world's greatest communicator. At lunchtime, go in my car and listen at lunchtime. He said, anything you want to do, study the people that do that the way you want to do it, because success leaves clues. I don't know what you want to do. It might be pursuing a career in finance and real estate, in medicine, legal profession. I don't know, becoming an entrepreneur, being a speaker, being a life coach. I don't know. But find someone, go online, do research, spend time learning. I remember when I heard a recording that said the average person reads one book a year. He said, if you make the commitment to read one book a month in 5 years, when the average person read 5 books, you'd have read 60 books. That will make you an expert. I did that. And it changed my life. It changed my life. You can do that too. The reason you're here is because you and I are cut from the same cloth. We're branches of the same tree. I only attract millionaires or millionaires in training. Give yourselves a round of applause. So I did what Mr. Washington said. I listened, and I listened to all of the broadcasters, and I watched them on television, and I listened on the radio, and I visualized myself doing that. And he told me something else. He said, stop hanging around people who don't want anything in life. Even now, when I take a call, a phone call, it goes through a filter. Make a mental note of this. It has to be positive. If it's not positive, I don't have the mental bandwidth to entertain negative phone calls. It has to be purposeful. Is it in alignment with what I'm doing with my life? It's got to be positive, purposeful. Is it productive? Can I learn something from this? Is it profitable? Does it make sense for me to give my time and energy to this? I'm 74. I don't have time to waste. I look good for 74 too, don't I? Yeah. You know black don't crack. It will get ashy and you need some Vaseline, you know? And I use mascara to cover my gray. Oh, B.A. Oh, no, he didn't, honey. Yes, he did. You got to have strong self-esteem to break this kind of stuff out. I was speaking in the Georgia Dome to 80,000 people. This lady came, she said, oh, Mr. Brown, I know you might be tired, but our speaker canceled. Do you have enough energy to give another speech? I said, no. She said, we can pay you a full fee of $70,000. I said, the Lord is able. So they took me over to the Georgia World Congress Center, and the audience was close to the stage. And so I said, just a minute. I went in the restroom, and I would start, covering the grave. I'd be sweating, trying to hook myself up, The grave was having a revolution, So I came up on the stage and she wanted everybody to know she knew me and she kissed me on the cheek. I kissed her on the cheek and left this big black smudge on her face. So I didn't know what to say, so I just sat down. So somebody said, there's something on your face. She looked at me, she said, what is it saying? I said, I don't know. Then somebody gave her a mirror, she looked. Nobody asked her to do that. This nosy lady getting into Kool-Aid, don't know the flavor. She looked to see the big black smudge on her face. She said, how did this get here? I said, I don't know. You think maybe this rubs off? So now I use waterproof mascara. Sometimes a brother's got to do what he's got to do. But some of y'all need a paintbrush to cover all that stuff up in there. So as you look at your goals and dreams, I studied every day. And I got a mentor, Mike Williams. Write this down. Invest in yourself. Invest in a mentor. Yes, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. You can't read the label when you're locked in the box. His book is called The Road to Your Best Stuff. It's an entrepreneur's handbook. Make sure you get that. Go on Amazon and download it. The audio version as well as the book, The Road to Your Best Stuff. And I'll never forget when I said, Mr. Washington, I've changed my relationships. I've been practicing. I'm ready, sir. And he says, good. He said, don't forget, you got to be hungry. I said, why do you say that? He said, people that are hungry are achievement driven. People that are hungry believe always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. People that are hungry believe no excuse is acceptable for not giving your best at all times under all circumstances. I said, I'm hungry, sir. I'm hungry to make my mother proud. All my life, people have compared me to my brother who's very smart and my sister who graduated from the University of Miami. I'm hungry, sir. I'm hungry to provide for her and make her proud that she adopted us. He says, good. Here's my card. Go to WMBM radio station. Milton Butterball Smith is the program director. Tell him that I sent you. I said, yes, sir. I went to WMBM radio station. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. He said, young man, you having journalism in your background? No, sir, I don't, but let me audition for you, sir. Let me show you how good I am. I've been practicing, sir. I visualized myself being on radio. He said, no, we don't have any job for you. Have you ever been rejected? Raise your hands, please. I was devastated with rejection. I went back. I said, Mr. Washington, they said no. He said, don't take it personally. Most people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times before they say yes. He said, you got to be hungry. Go back again. I said, yes, sir. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. I know what your name is. Weren't you here yesterday? Yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no yesterday? Yes, sir. Then why are you back today? Well, sir, I didn't know whether or not somebody was laid off or somebody was fired, sir. No one was laid off or fired. Now get on out of here. I came back the next day, talking loud, looking happy like I was singing for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. He said, I know what your name is. Weren't you here the last 2 days? Yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no the last 2 days? Yes, sir. He said, then why are you back today? Well, sir, I didn't know whether or not someone got sick or someone died, sir. No one got sick or died. No one was laid off or fired. Now, don't you come back here again. I said, yes, sir. I came back the next day, talking loud, looking happy, like I was singing for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Butterball, how are you? He looked at me betrayed. He says, go get me some coffee. I said, yes, sir. My favorite book says, the greatest among you will be your servant. How many of you are serious about your goals and dreams? Raise your hands, please. Very good. Write this down. Make a mental note of this. Provide more service than you get paid for. When I came into the speaking business, they told me, you can't succeed in this area. There's too many speakers, over 3,000, and you don't have the money, you don't have the credentials. There's no way. Here's what I want to say to you. Make yourself stand out. I train speakers now, and I teach them how to make themselves stand out with their story, how to create a significant emotional event and transform an audience individually and collectively. And those of you that are here that have a story, those of you that are entrepreneurs, your ability to communicate allows you to be able to make a sell or to make a point or make a difference. Your ability to communicate, if you're involved in multi-level marketing, is to build a strong organization and motivate, inspire people, and increase your ability to recruit and bring out the best of the people that you recruit and be able to retain them. Your ability to communicate is major today if you're going to make it. It's mindset, it's the skill set of a communicator, and if you're serious, email me at lesbrown77@gmail.com, and we'll come back here and do a training called Presentation Power and show you how to begin to create wealth with your story and your skill set and your business. And so at any rate, I became an errand boy for the disc jockeys. Remember this, give before you ask. I would serve them. I'd go get their lunch and their dinner and bring it to the disc jockeys. I was the guy that served them. And I would look at them working on their control board. And I had a mindset, my time will come. Let us say together, my time will come. And I was preparing myself. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. And one day, it was a Saturday afternoon, a disc jockey by the name of Rockin' Roger was drinking while he was on the air. He began to slur his words. He couldn't complete the show. It was a Saturday afternoon, and I was the only one there looking at him through the control room window, walking back and forth, young, ready, and hungry. I was saying, drink, rock, drink. Drink, rock. I'd have gone and get him some more if he'd asked me to. And then pretty soon the phone rang, and it was the general manager, and I answered the phone. He said, young boy, this is Mr. Klein. I said, I know. He said, Rock can't finish the program. I said, I know. He said, would you call one of the other DJs in? I said, yes, sir. I hung the phone up. I said, now he must think I'm crazy. I called my mom and my girlfriend, Cassandra. I said, y'all come out on the front porch and turn on the radio. I'm about to come on the air. I waited for about 20 minutes, and I called him back and said, Mr. Klein, I can't find nobody. He said, young boy, you know how to work the controls? I said, yes, sir. He said, go in there and segue the records, but don't you say nothing here. I said, yes, sir. I couldn't wait to get old Rock out of the way. I put on a fast record. I said, look out, this is me, LB, Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing papa. There were none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle, certified, bona fide, indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry. I was hungry. Shake someone's hand on your right and left, in front of you and behind you, and say, you gotta be hungry. Do that right now. You gotta be hungry. People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People that are hungry believe all you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is enough, but make sure you do all you can do. People that are hungry believe always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. People that are hungry believe it's better to have money and not need it than to need it and not have it. I don't know you, but here's what I know about you. You have greatness in you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. And I want to leave this with you. My mother loved this. And this new chapter that you're creating, this new chapter that you're becoming, as Mother Teresa would say, a pencil in the hand of God, and start writing a new chapter in your life, in your family's life, and in this great island. Leslie, yes, ma'am, Mama. Say that thing for me, boy, that makes me feel good. Everybody put your hand over your heart. Feel that beat. That beat represents life. Life is God's gift to you, and how you live your life is your gift to God. That beat, it represents life. You're a masterpiece because you're a piece of the master. You are an unrepeatable miracle. You were created on purpose, with a purpose. Miles was right. There's a purpose for your being here. And if you don't do it in a historical context, the world will never be the same again. Leslie, say that thing for me, boy, that makes me feel good. I dedicate this to you and to that dream that's in your heart. For where your heart is, there your treasure is also. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and sleep for it. If all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish, or gulf, sickness or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God you'll get it. You have something special. You have greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you.